Hey everyone, it's Deri here, helping you live a life of no regrets and build a business of no regrets. And today I'm here with Kerrie Dorman, who happens to be one of my favourites, I have to say. So before we get straight into it, tell us, Kerrie, who you are and what you do.
As you've just said, my name is Kerrie Dorman and I am primarily a professional business mentor, CCM.
Professional business mentor, we'll come to that in a minute.
And I am the founder of the Association of Business Mentors.
Now, this is a whole story in its own right, isn't it? Now, what I talk about within Strategy on a Page is let's begin with the why, purpose. So I reckon there's a story here, isn't there, Kerrie? So let's go back, right? Because I don't think, I wasn't there at the age of 7 going, when I grow up I want to be a business mentor. We didn't know it existed. So what was the transition for you, firstly into business mentoring, which I know you've done a lot of, and then into deciding to actually stand for something as this whole industry? There's a big story there. Come on, take us back and give us the why.
Okay, there's a big why.
I know.
So it all started with me being a serial entrepreneur. I've just seen a niche, gone for it. Sometimes I've been successful and sometimes I've ballsed up. But...
No, never do that, do we, as entrepreneurs?
But, and bizarrely, everyone's more interested in the failures rather than the successes,
Absolutely.
which is...
And anyone that doesn't have those battle scars, I think they're a big part of being the mentor, isn't it?
Oh my God, absolutely. So on the sale of my last business, which was successful, I was invited to be a business mentor for a program called the Innovation Centre, which was an LDA funded project.
Yeah.
Remember the LDA?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
God.
It was a little
That's
while
a while
ago.
ago.
Actually, this is 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know what mentoring was all about, as it is a reasonably new concept. And I realised that I had a lot to offer, that I'd gathered enormous amounts of experience in my ups and downs in business, and totally fell in love with it, but found that there was a lot of people out there calling themselves business mentors who had never run a business or had never been in a position of responsibility in which they were mentoring, in the arena in which they were mentoring, which just really pissed me off.
No, really?
Because, I'd been through the sweat and the tears and on the flip side, the joy of doing everything that I'd done. And then here were these people who had basically read a book, and I just thought, no, that's not good.
We don't like that, do we?
We don't like that. So I looked around for some sort of trade body, trade association who was kind of monitoring these people, this activity in the mentoring industry, and I couldn't find one.
So there wasn't one, was there?
There wasn't one. So true to form, my normal spirits, I thought, right, this there's got to be some sort of watchdog as to what's going on, because business owners, as we know, are always at some point in a vulnerable position. I've been there countless times.
Me too,
myself.
absolutely.
And when you're in that vulnerable position, you listen to what people have to say. And if you get some bad advice, then it's the kiss of death. And
you don't actually know that that's a bad advice a lot of the times.
You don't know what you don't know. That lovely saying that kind of irritates me a little bit, but it's true. So that's why the association was founded. It's now 5 years old, and what happens is that business mentors who are practicing at mentoring and delivering support, because obviously mentoring comes in lots of different guises, they can apply to be a member of the ABM. There's a very strict, thorough application process. But at the end of it, we feel that our members are providing a credible service to their mentees, whether they're business owners or people operating within a corporate environment or whatever a mentee.
Well, let's talk about this, because this is the crux to it all, is what the hell is mentorship and what isn't mentorship? And because I've just, in another interview recently, I was, bashing the coaching word, because that's a dangerous bloody word as well out there, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same in the mentoring world. We've had this conversation many times. We knew what is mentorship, And why has it got the bad rap it's got out there? It's probably the cleanest of all the words, and yet it comes with a free connotation in some cases. And mentoring what? On what? So how do you define it? You're the pro, because you run courses on this,
So,
don't you, right? You're the pro on this.
I do, yes. So the ABM stance is that anybody can be taught to be a coach.
Yes.
Because it's a technique, it's questioning skills,
Yeah.
and it's really about empowering the person that you're working with. Anyone can be taught to be a coach because it's a technique, it's questioning skills that you don't necessarily have to have any background or experience in any arena. That anybody can be taught to do that. Whereas mentoring, you have to have been there and done it.
You think, especially with businesses, eh?
You have to have lived it to be able to guide and support somebody else through doing the same thing. But I want to make a really important point here, and that is that running a successful business is completely different to being able to guide and support and mentor somebody else in running their business.
Absolutely right.
And this was a bit of a light bulb moment for me in the early days, because I got quite frustrated when I was mentoring business owners and they weren't running their business how I wanted them to run their business. And then it kind of clicked for me, and I just thought, that's just not what this is all about. It's all about talking about the experiences and what came out well, what didn't, and how that experience can translate into giving someone else the tools in order to make their own decisions, but hopefully avoiding the pitfalls or capitalising on the successes. It's not about telling somebody how to run a business.
And see, this is so what we stand for, as you know very well, what we stand for is the coach, consultant, mentor model for the small space. And we're very clear on the small space here. So down in that space, you need to run a business, which is the mentor bit. And that's primarily the key. We need to be able, but just because you run a business doesn't mean you're good at guiding someone else to run a business, right? You doesn't, just because you run a successful business, you still some skills, a bit of coaching skills helps in that, a little bit of consulting skills helps in that.
Undoubtedly.
And some empathetic skills helps in that as well. But mentoring transitions, because it's a strange old world, because you can, I find, some corporate guys, because if you've just, this is where it goes bad for me, so some people who've been really high up in corporate positions are suddenly mentoring small business startups. And I'm like, and that can work, by the way, that can work, but there's mentoring corporates, if you've been in a corporate space, you're really good at mentoring within the corporate space. And this is where, I came out of the corporate space, and mentoring within that space was wonderful, because I was getting mentored by people who'd been there, done that, of what I was aspiring to. Same in the business world. It's like people who've been there and done that to where you're aspiring to. So mentoring can mean very different things, depending on your big space, medium space, small space. How do you see that working? Because this word mentor, and what does it mean, by the way? Tell us what mentor means, because I know I didn't know that, because you told me that in the first place. What does mentor mean, and how do you see the evolution across the difference between mentoring in the small space to the mentoring in the corporate space?
Well, great. Two questions there. Firstly, it originated from the Odyssey, so written by Homer, and mentor was a person who Odysseus, before going off to fight the Trojan Wars, he handed his son over to Mentor. Telemachus was his son's name. And he asked Mentor to look after him and support him and guide him as he was growing into being a man. And so that's where it all comes from.
See, that I love that, because I didn't know that until Kerrie told me months ago on this one. And I think that sums it up, doesn't it? It's that guide and nurture and growing to be whatever it is that mentor's meant to do for you, in this case, to become a man and to become the next leader.
Precisely. And that whole concept's been followed, right from caveman days. But going back to the mixture of the corporate small business space, it's quite interesting. I think with small business being mentored by someone from the corporate space, I think it can be really interesting, because you can get a lot of thinking big. Yeah,
absolutely.
But as long as you treat that in the right way, that's the key. And I think that can be really powerful. But again, it's down to the mentor making
Yeah.
sure that they're managing expectations and just making sure that someone's not going to get sudden delusions of grandeur and, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I definitely think that it's powerful, you know. I think that mentoring across industries, across sectors and sizes has to happen, because that's what it's all about. That's where we're gaining from the experiences in all the variety of
So
walks
what
of
about
life.
your mentors? I remember standing on the stage for that panel debate at the last Association of Business Mentors conference.
Yes.
And you asked a great question, but it was surprising that other people didn't share the view I had, which I thought was the view we'd all have, which is, have you had a mentor, and how did that mentor impact you? Because I've had many mentors. I attribute a lot of my success to my mentors. I still have mentors now. What's your view on that? You know, from a mentor, well, you know, you've had different mentors along the way. How's mentoring impacted you?
Oh, it's taken away any blinkered approach that I have.
Yeah.
It's provided me with motivation and encouragement. It's provided me actually primarily with a sounding board. You know, but it's a bit tricky for me finding a mentor. I don't think people want to mentor me, but I tried to coach as well for a little while, just to kind of see the difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was
It's
interesting.
different, isn't it?
It is very different.
And as horses for courses, I think there's absolutely times for these
Yes.
different things. But I think we're aware of the differences, therefore we can select more. Whereas a lot of people watching this aren't aware. This is why I'm like, this is what mentoring is, and it's different to coaching, it's different to consulting. And that's an education we've got to get out there, I think, because people don't know the differences. And I think you can choose someone for the wrong reasons. People just think their answer is just get a business coach.
Yeah.
Well, it can be if the business coach is run a business and is a mentor and all that kind of stuff.
Sure, but it's all down to transparency. Isn't
Yeah.
it? And being very clear as to what you want out of the relationship. So just going back to the whole CCM concept, I love it because it gives a full circle of approach. And I think that credible mentors and credible coaches need to be able to have both skill sets and experience, obviously, because the experience bit is the mentor's slant. But I think naturally we flit from one to the other in sessions and in a journey. So it's really important actually that we can do a little bit of all three.
Yeah, and I think certainly in the small space, again, I think it's that because the small businesses don't have the budget to have all three. Because when you get up in the big space, in the mid space, when there's more money, you can have the executive coach purely doing coaching within the organisation. You can have the consultants in marketing and the consultants specialising in the finance piece and the operations, and you can have mentors in different realms. But down in the small space, you don't have the budget, so you're looking to one person to have your back down there.
Yeah.
And if you get the right person, it's magic. It's like, oh my God, it's game changing. It's been game changing for me. You get the wrong person, and sadly, a lot of people don't know it's the wrong person.
Right.
This is when I come across a business and they go, oh, I did that business coaching, it's rubbish, it doesn't work. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that's why it's really important for mentees, anybody who's receiving this support, to actually check out a few people.
Fit, yeah, absolutely.
The fit has got to be there. And but also, like in the States, well, you have mentors in the States, don't you? The whole feeling over there is that you have a formula of mentors.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you tick as many boxes as you can. So it is providing a very thorough sounding board and stream of advice. But the fit is really important. I mean, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
No, I don't believe it.
Some people.
I wouldn't want to mess with her, by the way. So she'd hold your ass to account.
Some people love that approach, and some people just don't want it. You know, so it is really important that you get that right.
Yeah, I'm not right for everyone unless you're prepared to have your ass kicked. It's going to be a very uncomfortable session,
see,
isn't it?
You don't mess with you either.
But
we get results.
High five, we're good. We get the results. That's what we're there for. So come on and tell me about standards in mentoring, because this is what I love. So by the way, it's full transparency, Business Growth International, we're fully accredited with the Association of Business Mentors. I absolutely stand up for everything that Kerrie stands for in this industry. A couple of our good friends in this industry, we've all kind of collaborated around Kerrie, because Kerrie actually is setting the standard. So, which is hugely important. And I've been vetted. This was the irony. It's like I got to get in.
Yep.
It's checked me out. Seriously checked me out and checked out my credentials and my client base and everything else. I was like, wow, shit. Because there's a lot of people, you've got certifications and all that kind of stuff out there, which don't really mean much. But I mean, Kerrie really, really stands for this stuff, and she's going to vet your ass if you're going to come into this association, which is what you stand for, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's all about.
How the hell do you know out there if a mentor is any good? What's the industry badge? What have they actually done to prove anything, right? So talk us through, because I know what I had to do. But what is professional mentoring? What does a mentor, in order to get through your ranks to become you, what should we be as mentors?
Well, professional mentors, it really refers to a mentor who is working as a mentor for their living.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of mentors out there who are just giving back.
There's a lot in the charitable space on this, and social enterprise.
Absolutely. So,
yeah.
which
I love.
Which is terrific. And we all give back in certain ways. I mentor for free for the Reasons Why Foundation, which is all about getting young offenders back into the workplace, and I love that, and I'm very happy to give up my time to do that. But professional business mentors charge a fee. We get paid for what we do, and we're sought for a particular reason, which may be working with the mindset of a particular business owner, or increasing turnover, or increasing profit, or there's lots of KPIs that mentors are engaged with for. But the point is that the Association of Business Mentors provides a credible platform by making sure that all the members have to go through this application process, so that we know that they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And it, it's not just about the experience, it's about the way they operate, their manner, their various skill sets, and how they market themselves, which also has to be credible. And so
no shenanigans in the selling and the marketing. I know you checked us out on that, because there are people out there who are just blowing smoke and hype, and it's
and people get taken up by that. It's very dangerous. Again, going back to the fact that business owners will be at some point in a very vulnerable space, and I've seen it. They really get taken in by scams that are out there and shed. They part with thousands and thousands of pounds, and that
they do.
Also pisses me off. So the whole thing is looked at. The application process is this: we ask for 10 references, a minimum of 2 years experience in the coaching mentoring space, and a nomination from a member who's already gone through the application process. If that's not possible, then they have to have a conversation with me.
Trust me, you're not going to get anything past her.
Just to get to know, to make sure all these boxes are ticked. And we also require a little bit of training, a minimum of half a day, just because, again, going back to the point that it's a very different skill being a successful business person, or successful in your own right, than it is to guide, support and advise somebody in being successful in what they're doing. So it's important to have that little bit of training, just so that you know that you're on the right track in terms of mentoring skills. And so once all that has been met, you then become a member. And however, we have launched an affiliate program now.
Yes.
And that means that anybody can join as an affiliate member, and we nurture them along their journey until they graduate and tick all the boxes to be a full member, and we allocate them a mentor from the membership base.
Nice. So I think there's two messages here. One is to mentors out there. We certainly encourage all of our accredited partners who are eligible. Most of our accredited partners are eligible, thankfully.
Yeah,
But
they have to
to
go
be
through DOM.
partners, but they have to go through DOM to get to Kerrie, right? But we are fully signed up to this because we believe in the professional standard within the industry. And you can see this has been checked out properly. But also to the business owners out there who are seeking mentors, you should be asking these questions, right? This is how many clients have you worked with? Here's the testimonials. Give us. Can I call a reference to show what's done? You'd think that would be normal. This is a very serious undertaking. This can be game changing for your business.
Yeah. What if you think about the reference checks that we do on when we're employing somebody?
Yeah.
They
Same
should be
thing.
double what you do when you're employing somebody when you're engaging with a mentor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if they're a member of the Association of Business Mentors, definitely if they're a member of any other association, because I can guarantee you nobody does the checks that we do.
Seriously, I was shocked. But that's why I love what you do, because you do stand for something in this industry, and it's important because if we get this right, Kerrie, I know that the mentors I've had, that changed my life, and that's not a fluffy changed my life thing. It is, it seriously changed my business, changed my life. And the difference between success and failure is such a knife edge in a lot of businesses. You just get the right guide at the right time. It's game changing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And it's a sadly, there's a lot of people out there who are using the word, and they shouldn't be using the word. Sadly, we can't regulate the word, but what we can do is regulate the industry. So if you're out there and you're seeking mentors, you're out there and you are a mentor, and you're one of the good guys and girls out there, become a member of the ABM so we can stand up together for what this industry is. And equally, if you're out there looking for mentors, ask the question: Are you a member of the Association of Business Mentors? That's a good question to ask. And if they don't know what it is, point them to the website. And if they're not, why not? Because the only reason, why wouldn't you? And also there's a professional development point to this too, which I love, is we should, as mentors, be developing ourselves all the time. We're not just done. And every year you do your conferences, of which all of our people are part of those conferences as well. And that ongoing professional development is important for us, isn't it? And I know you also do day training courses on mentorship.
Yes, so I personally run a course on business mentoring fundamentals. Then there's a higher level, which is actually called the higher levels of business mentoring, and then there's elite. So three levels.
Nice.
Yeah, day courses, and it just gives you that oomph to be the best.
And look, what's mental to me is there's people out there doing day training courses on being a coach, and yet there's no courses on being mentors, and yet it's one of the most important skill sets.
There are some courses out there. I've looked at several, and the content is pretty good, actually, but they're not run by mentors, which I think is really important. But yes, no, we put on our quarterly professional information warnings, which obviously all the CCMs are included in, and we make sure that we have something to upskill, a topic to upskill our mentors. Yeah. Quarterly, so that because you never stop learning. I mean, that's it's really important. It's how we all move forward, and
we need to be at the front edge as mentors, because we're advising, and the business world is changing so fast.
It is.
We need to be adapting and growing with it. And if there's mentors out there sitting there thinking they're done and they don't need to learn anymore, and they can just impart that advice for the next decade, good luck with that. Because I've seen the shift in the last. The couple of decades I've been in business, the last 5 years has just been, the speed of things and the acceleration of things has been phenomenal. If I hadn't kept myself on the front edge of development and learning, I'd be way behind by now.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
So professional development, I think it's an important thing for all of us.
Yeah.
So let's talk purpose, all right? I always begin with the why, but the one I want to go after here, the 5 elements of purpose, right? Passion, service and value, market opportunity, fiscal, the financial purpose and lifestyle. The one thing I think, this is what I love about you, is the soapbox, because me and you can get in our soapboxes, can't we?
Yeah.
Oh. So let's talk about passion, because let's just face it, building something like the Association of Business Mentors, if you don't have a passion for that, that's a bit of a chore.
It's a no-go.
So what drives you? What's that passion for that? Because it's you haven't chosen the easy one there, have you, really?
No, I haven't, actually. And it has, I mean, I call it my work of passion.
Yeah.
It is, because I am absolutely passionate about drawing on previous experience to help other people.
Yeah.
I'm passionate about business. I loved being a business owner. I loved buying and selling. I didn't like ballsing up so much, but
Any of us like that.
But that's something that I think you have to go through in order to succeed anyway.
Yeah.
Which is what happened with me, most definitely. But I'm thinking about those days when I was a business owner. Had I had a mentor, I definitely would have done a lot better than I did.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And I want to be able to provide that to other business owners.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm passionate about, because I know that it works. I know it works.
So what if I got challenged on a stage recently? Believe me, that person did not want to challenge me on this. But I was talking, Dom's laughing over there in the corner now, right? I was talking about purpose, and I was leading with a passion piece. And a lady at the back chirped up, "Oh, everyone bangs on about that passion thing. You don't need to have passion in business." I'm not going to tell you what I said next, because this is clearly going to go out on multiple channels. But let's just say it was very uncomfortable in the room for that person for the next few minutes, because I just think that's the biggest pile of horse shit ever. So let's just say, passion. If you're in business and you don't have a passion, is that okay?
Well, you wouldn't survive.
Why not?
Because it's really tough.
There's the reality.
It is so tough. And if you don't have that drive and that passion, it won't happen.
And see, that's why I love it, because it's coming from the horse's mouth. And this is what people don't get. It's this passion is not some fluffy thing.
No.
It's that sits over here and is a nice to have. It's that gets you through the dark times.
Yes.
Isn't it? And I'm guessing...
And there are dark times all the time.
No, not, surely that magic fairy dust that people are preaching out there, get rich by next Tuesday, there's no failure points along the way, is there?
Yeah, well, you and I both know that's a lot of bollocks.
A whole horseshit, isn't it?
Yes.
And let's talk about it, because you've had... So this I want to be really open in these conversations with people, is that we've had the shit times.
Yeah.
But it's the passion that gets us through the shit times, isn't it?
That's right. It really
and what did
is.
you do? Can you think of a time when it was a bad time? What advice do you give to people out there who was having a kind of bad time that you've been through? And how the hell do you get out the other side? Because there's people out there watching this who are having a shit time right now.
Well, my trick was to break down the overwhelm. Because when the dark times come, when it's just it's too much, nothing's going your way, you've probably made some bad decisions. There's all sorts of aspects to what can bring on a dark time.
Yeah.
But if you can just break it down and sleep on it. Don't make decisions when you're tired and distraught, because that doesn't work. It's always best to sleep on it and break it down into bite-sized chunks that you can deal with, and before you know it, that particular dark patch is gone and you're back on the up.
Yeah.
And talk. Just talk to people, talk to your mentor. and that's what it's all about,
And they say, I know it's a cliche, but it's so true. It is lonely at the top when you're running your own business. It's a lonely game, and sadly, certainly, when I was building my businesses in the early days, my family didn't support me. They didn't know what the hell I was doing. If you're not running a small business, you're not an entrepreneur. You just don't know. You don't get it. My mates were all in jobs. I was this lunatic that was decided to follow his own passion. Woohoo! And I think that is talk to people, but talking to people and finding, this is why we run our live events. Yes, we're educating. Yes, the transformation is happening in the room. But you know what? Sitting around a table of people who are running businesses,
being honest,
and going,
discussing.
Shit, this is bad times.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you've had a problem with cash flow too? Yeah, me too. Yeah, everyone else in this room, mate.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
and as soon as you voice it and discuss it, it's like a bit of a weight, because you know you're not on your own.
Yeah, and I think and this is the big part of bringing this reality. The business is tough in the first few years. The passion needs to be there for you to get it through. But equally, this is where the mentors come in.
Yeah.
And this is why the closer the mentor is to your experience, i.e. been there, done that in your shoes, the more empathy can be in place of, yeah, I know, I've got your back. I've been in the shit times. I hear you. And I think that's huge. So choose a mentor, that's really going to have your back. I'm here to have you back in the shit times as well as the good. That's what we're here to do, aren't we?
Absolutely. And as a credible professional mentor is accessible and on hand. And if a business owner just needs to be able to pick up the phone and have that chat, that you're there.
Yeah.
That is what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Accessibility.
So you know what we've built within the accredited partners, and I'm hugely proud of our accredited partners, and that's a big part of, I was standing up for something more in this industry, in the CCM model, and then when Kerrie and I came together, it was just a natural fit, because I was like, oh, great, Kerrie stands for something in this industry, and in a way bigger way than we did actually. She decided to really stand for the whole industry. But Kerrie has come and accredited with us, which is a great honour. When she was on the accreditation, we had a good 2 days together. But why? Why is somebody, you're Titan of your calibre, why did you come and accredit with us?
Well, I was very interested in strategy on a page, right from having read the book a while back. The book's been out for about two years now, I think.
2 years now.
And for me, I love having a few very good tools. And I just felt that I needed to have something of that calibre to furnish myself to do a great job as a mentor. Because there's the thing about strategy on a page is that it keeps it simple, and it ticks all the right boxes in terms of I love the passion bit, and the fact that there's two very important things, which is talent and cash.
Yeah.
And everybody that I discuss it with and show the page, they get it.
Get it. Yeah.
And so for me, it was really important to have a tool just like that in order to be able to apply it to anybody who I'm working with, because it applies to anybody.
Yeah.
Up there, corporates. It's
That's
down
been an
there,
evolution. I didn't plan it for that.
A one-man band. It's so versatile that it makes me feel very comfortable with whomever I'm working with, that I can use it, and not just actually with the physical page, but with all the periphery of it, all the words. It just resonates with everybody. So yeah, that's the reason why.
And I think the important thing is we're not dogmatic in our approach. Right? The pages, I think the last accreditation, someone labelled it quite nicely. The page is like the scaffolding for the mentor, because it's the scaffolding. What we've done is we've kind of crashed everything that's important into the one page. However, I know you will bring your amazing tools, other tools around it, because it doesn't detract from all the other, and the expertise you bring and the skill sets you bring. In fact, it just almost magnifies your skill sets even more. So that's an important for the ones people out there looking at the accreditation certification stuff. This is a tool, and it's a tool to be working with your other tools, and that's the trick, I think, as mentors. And it's having a common approach is important for us, so we can work together. Because actually, what we've got is a collaboration in the mentoring space, where we actually can work together off the same page. Excuse the pun. Where you can bring the sales and marketing people who are working in a client. They'll need the finance people in, and then they bring the talent people in. But actually, all of us working in cohesion for the greater good of the business owner at the end of the day. That's the important bit. And I think the important thing to understand around the page for the mentors out there is the page is like the scaffolding. That's what the last accreditation, one of the people on it said, oh yeah, this is like the scaffolding, isn't it? Because they were worried that, but I've got these other tools. I'm an expert at this and I have these other tools I use. I'm like, we are the scaffolding which enables your greatness. You can bring all your experiences and the other tools you use, because there's amazing strategic tools out there. There's loads of them. The page just kind of is the scaffolding to hang it off, allowing you to go way deeper, because it looks simple, but you know the depth you can go into on the different areas of that page.
Yeah.
And that's the trick with this, is enabling
That's why
all
it's
the
so
tools to work
versatile.
together. Yeah, and we do what we do. We don't pretend to be anything else. It's that the page is the page, allowing you to bring, and how you bring the page alive will be slightly different to how other people bring the page alive. But awesome to have you on board with the page, and it's a great honour for me to be part of the Association of Great Business Mentors. Let's rise this industry up, shall we?
Let's do
Together.
it.